correctly about Dhamma.
The glass see and this see. It can.
Yes, I
Can it see?
Yes, I can. Có.
Cái kia nó có tự thấy được không? Cái này nó có biết thấy không?
Không.
So there must be a reality which is different from this, which can see.
Phải có một
right?
thực tại khác với cái thực tại này.
Because there is seeing right now. Because there is seeing right now. So it's another reality which arises to see. But who knows that it's there without shape and form. This is seen, it's the color, visible object. But that which arises and sees it is not that which is seen. Would you like to translate on this? Oh, I see.
That Vietnamese one, you have to. Okay. Well, if Kunjana would like to join, you can speak without both. I hope Vietnamese too. Maybe. Yeah. Please tell him to. Yeah. What's the Vietnamese word?
Vừa rồi đội Việt Nam đã dịch xong rồi đúng không? Nhưng mà em vẫn chưa nắm được ý đúng không? Yes. You please go on.
So we now learn to understand life, each moment, whether what is there as it is. So true. There is seeing for sure right now. It's not that which is seen. Different realities. Do you feel pleasant feeling? Do you have pleasant feeling right now? Feeling is another reality because it's there. Unpleasant feeling is also real because it's there when it arises. But when it does not arise, how can it be there? That's why whatever is there now appearing has a reason. Otherwise, it cannot be seen. Whatever is there. Sound is a reality which can be heard, but not can be touched, and it cannot see or hear anything. That's why we learn about what is there in truth in daily life, to understand the absolute truth that whatever is there is conditioned to arise at different moments by conditions. Moment of seeing now is conditioned by the eye sense, and that which impinge on the eye sense. And hearing now, at the moment, sound is real, but sound is not that which is seen. And it's not that which hears, it's not that which sees when it hears. So no matter it's see or hear or think, it arises to experience what is there. No translation?
Yes.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Learn to understand the truth, that's all.
Dạ, đúng.
And what else is true? What else is true? Not only seeing, not only hearing, what else in the day?
Tại nào? Cái ngửi, cái xúc chạm, rồi cái suy nghĩ.
Smelling, tasting, thinking.
So is that you?
Có. Không có ở đây ạ.
If one is truthful to the truth, seeing arises to see only. at that moment of seeing. And now hearing arises to hear only at moment of hearing. So life exists only in a moment, just arise and falls away, never to return. Yesterday experience cannot come back to be experienced again today. They're all gone. Each moment is gone, completely gone. Is that true? Just learn to understand about the truth, that's all, no more. Because whatever is there is already conditioned to be just as it is. Do you get angry sometimes?
Dạ có ạ.
Is it real?
Dạ không.
Nó có là thực không ấy? Cái khoảnh khắc sân đấy nó có là thực không?
Có.
Yes, Ajahn.
So what is real is real. So it's anger you.
Dạ.
But if it does not arise, where's you? If anger is you.
Dạ, lúc đấy là cái tâm mình.
Tức là nếu như mà cái sân mà là bạn, mà lúc bạn không sân thì bạn biến đi đâu mất rồi. Cho nên là sân có phải là bạn không?
Không phải.
She's not anger.
So in truth, there's no I, no mother, father, friends at all, no things at all. What is seen only when it's there seen. What is heard only when it's heard and then gone. So life is in a moment, which is not permanent at all. Is that true? Just begin to understand what is true in life, that's all. And what is true cannot be taken for anyone because it arises to be only that reality and then gone forever, never to arise again. This is the beginning to understand what Dhamma is. What is real, it has its own characteristic as a reality, different ones. What is the difference between seeing and hearing?
Cái thấy thì chỉ thấy thôi. Còn cái nghe là âm thanh.
Cái nghe là âm thanh á.
Nghe là cái âm thanh bên ngoài ô tai mình thì mình
cái nghe âm thanh kìa. She said that seeing sees and hearing hears the sound.
And what is different? What is the differences between seeing and hearing? Or no different at all?
Có khác nhau khi mà mình không thấy nhưng mà mình vẫn có thể nghe.
The difference because when we don't see, we can still hear. She said they are different because when we don't see, but we can still hear.
Different moment. At moment of hearing, is there seeing?
Dạ không.
See, does it appear as it is? When there's no hearing, there's no seeing, does it appear now as it is?
Chắc chắn là không rồi.
Không ạ.
No, Ajahn.
So be truthful. At moment of seeing, there cannot be hearing, there cannot be other reality, because seeing at that moment arises to see and then gone. So how many moments of seeing right now?
Rất là nhiều.
Countless. Countless.
Okay, that's the understanding of the way it is. Is it the absolute truth?
Dạ, đúng ạ.
So what is seen now?
Cái được thấy hiện giờ chỉ là thấy hình ảnh của mọi người, mọi người trong phòng.
The image of many people.
At once, in a moment.
Chỉ trong một khoảnh khắc mà đã thể thấy được hình ảnh của mọi người sao? Một khoảnh khắc thấy mà thấy được hình ảnh của mọi người sao?
Mình tập trung vào và mình
hôm qua mình cũng đã nói về cái này đúng không? Một khoảnh khắc thấy, liệu đã thấy được hình ảnh của mọi người chưa?
phải cần một lúc, một thời gian.
Một lúc là nhiều khoảnh khắc thấy hay là một khoảnh khắc thấy?
Nhiều khoảnh khắc thấy.
Many different moments of seeing it takes to see images of people.
Are you sure?
Bây giờ bạn đã chắc chưa?
Dạ đúng ạ.
Never change.
Cái điều ấy cái hiểu đó nó còn thay đổi nữa hay không, hay là nó sẽ lại quên?
Không, nó không quên, mà tại vì nó sẽ
Now we talk about many moments, right? Can we just talk about one moment only? Is that seeing in a moment?
Nó không còn ở đấy nữa. Cái khoảnh khắc đấy là nó đã sinh ra và diệt đi rồi.
It's already gone.
Yes.
Each moment is
But
gone.
can there be only one moment at a time?
Tại vì ở đây Achan đang muốn nói về một khoảnh khắc thấy, cái thấy ở một khoảnh khắc đó nó thấy cái gì, vì thế nên Achan đang nói về những gì diễn ra ở một khoảnh khắc thấy thôi.
Một khoảnh khắc thấy thì
it seems that they're seeing many people, many things around, but the seeing arises and falls away so quickly. So actually it just sees what is visible, and then many moments of thinking about images of different people, the table, the microphones, and so on. So the seeing just sees what is visible, and then instantly there is thinking because of memory about images of people. So the seeing is just for a moment, arises and falls away, different from the thinking about someone there, something there. And this is all day like this, moment of seeing, so many moments of thinking because of memory about the shapes, the colors. And that's why there are the ideas of different people. And the same with hearing and the other sense experiences. So in the beginning, because I know that it's quite new for you, it's quite different from how we usually think about. Usually we think, I see many people, many objects, but we begin to understand that seeing just arises in a moment and then it's gone. No time to think about anything because it just sees what is light, what is visible, and then gone instantly. And there are so many moments of seeing with so much thinking in between. That's how we have the idea of this person, that person, because of the thinking about what has been seen many, many times. And what is the point of talking about reality now? What is the point of talking about seeing now? And what is seen now? Why do we talk about these realities? Why are you interested to understand more about the truth now?
để ý là con muốn ý là để hiểu như cách nào là đúng.
Cách nào là đúng á?
Hiểu đúng về pháp là như thế nào, về một cái xảy ra tại thực tại bây giờ á.
Because I am interested in understanding correctly about what is happening now.
Okay. And what is happening now, for example, we're talking about seeing now. Is there anyone, any person now?
Không phải là một người nào đó.
No one. It's not anyone.
So at a moment of seeing, who or what sees?
Cái tâm.
The chitta.
Right. So this is life, just different moments of chitta arising and falling away, experiencing the object one after the other. So we think we see images of people, but this is just in our imagination, because actually there's no person to see. There is just the visible object which is seen, but there is the thinking about this person and that person. So person is just an idea that is thought about, not the reality which is seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Con cảm ơn Sarah, cô Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah, so much.
Cảm ơn Ajahn.
So we talk about and understand a little more about the truth of what life is now. As you mentioned, this is a purpose in order to understand that in truth, there are just these different realities arising and falling away. No I, no the other, no this person, no that person, no thing like a table or a computer in reality. Just different realities. So this is why we talk a lot about the different realities and why Ajahn asked you, well, what else is real now? In order to let go the idea of I that experiences or the other that is seen or something that is there. But it's quite deep and subtle.
Dạ, con cảm ơn con.
Hai em có câu hỏi gì nữa không? Hồng.
Con xin chia sẻ một số điều ạ. Theo khi mà con không được nghe về Ajahn nói thì con chỉ biết, con chỉ sống trong một cái sự thật là sự thật chế định. Và khi được nghe thì con có những cái nhận biết về pháp, về sự thật một cách nó thấu đáo. Thì qua bằng những cái suy xét và về những cái gì được nghe thì con luôn cảm thấy là với con hoặc tất cả mọi người đều thiếu cái sự là suy xét và luôn luôn thiếu một cái sự nghiên cứu sâu sắc. Thì con muốn hỏi là mình phải mình sẽ phải làm cái điều gì nữa để tăng trưởng thêm những cái điều đó.
She said that,
tăng trưởng thêm hiểu biết.
She said that she can see that it's very useful when one hear about the Dhamma and reflect on the Dhamma, on the truth of realities. But she also finds that we don't understand enough, we don't consider enough about the realities. So is there anything we can do to increase our understanding and our consideration of the Dhamma?
What about now? Now there is considering about what is reality, what is an idea like person, image of person. So the considering now, the wise reflecting about what the truth is, conditions, a little more wise considering, a little more understanding. There's more and more wise attention to what life really is now. But it's not I doing anything. It's not I considering or I attending or I trying to understand. It's just the moment of wise considering now. Different from if we go to a center or meditation temple and try to be aware, try to understand. That is not the wise considering. It has to be at this moment, not I going anywhere, doing anything special, but just now. And it may be while eating one's lunch or any time. There's always reality. There's always seeing. There's always hearing. So it's always here and now, but not I doing it at all.
Con hiểu là lúc nào mình cũng phải suy xét về sự thật, về những cái gì Đức Phật dạy. Yeah. Con xin cảm ơn.
I get it that we always have to consider about the truth that the Buddha taught.
And sometimes people think that the wise considering or the understanding has to be for a period of time, like half an hour in a discussion or at home when there's no music, no TV. But this is not the right understanding of considering, because the wise considering is just for a moment. There can be wise considering arising by conditions anytime, any place. So we have to let go of the idea of a special place and a special time and a special way. Because just like now, attachment arises so quickly after seeing and hearing. Instantly, no one makes it arise. It just arises and falls away. It's the same with understanding. It just can arise anytime, unexpectedly, but not by I doing something, trying to make it occur.
Nhưng mà con nhận biết được là con cũng rất là tăng trưởng được cái sự hiểu biết khi mà nghe pháp nhiều lần.
Yes, and I realized that my understanding has increased over the time after when I listen more to the Dhamma.
Because more reflecting about the truth of the reality now, more letting go of the idea that I can do something, I can control, I can see people around, more understanding of what reality is at this moment. And there are two kinds of realities, those that experience an object, like the citta you mentioned, and the cetasikas, the mental factors, and those realities that don't experience anything at all, the rupas, like the hardness touched or the visible objects seen now. So there has to be the understanding of, firm understanding of the difference between the realities that experience the object, the namas, and the realities that don't experience anything, the rupas, in order to let go of the idea of I and someone and something. But like you say, gradually the understanding works its way, seeps through.
Và con muốn hiểu thêm là vì sao là hiểu biết cũng là vô ngã.
I would like to understand more why understanding is also anatta.
Can you make understanding arise now?
Dạ không ạ. Không, con
no,
không thể nào làm được
no,
cái
cannot,
điều
I
gì.
cannot.
Why not?
Vì hiểu biết cũng là một thực tại và nó cũng là một cái pháp và nó sẽ sinh ra do duyên và nó cũng diệt đi ngay lập tức.
Because it's a reality, it arises by conditions, and after it arises, it passes away.
So is that the meaning of anatta? Just a reality which arises by conditions, not in anyone's control. Because if it was atta, then I could make understanding arise all the time. But there's no atta, no I that can do anything. This is why it's anatta, not self, not in my control, because no I to have any control. It would be very easy if there was an atta. It could make understanding arise all day and get rid of ignorance, but the dhammas are anatta. So the understanding has to develop by conditions also, not by anyone's will or wish.
Con cảm ơn bà. Con muốn hỏi điều này để có mọi người có thể nghe lại một lần nữa và nhấn mạnh về cái sự vô ngã.
Thank you so much. I asked this question in order for our friends listen to it as well and understand more about the anatta-ness of all Dhamma.
And the Buddha taught that the conditioned realities that arise and fall away are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. But even nibbana is anatta, because even though it doesn't arise and fall away, it's not in anyone's control. It's anatta. No one can make nibbana the object of experience. No one can control it in any way at all. And actually, it's a relief, letting go of a burden. Nothing for I to do, because no I to do anything. So one can live easily and naturally, letting understanding develop without I trying to arrange it or make it happen, because that is clinging and wrong understanding, which leads along the wrong path.
Và vẫn bắt đầu bằng cái thấy, cái nghe, cái ngửi, cái nếm, và không có ai ở đó.
And it has to begin with seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and no one there.
If there is no understanding of seeing or hearing, what is seen, what is heard, the reality now that is being experienced or which is apparent, there cannot be any understanding of what is meant by anatta. So sometimes people say, oh, everything is anatta, but what is everything? It's the seeing at this moment, the touching at this moment, the hardness that is touched, that is anatta.
Và một điều nữa là về cái tư duy như chúng con thì luôn luôn bị cho là mọi cái thứ xuất hiện đều là khái niệm cả. Và nếu mà không được nghe được về sự thật tối hậu, những cái điều quý báu của Đức Phật, thì tụi con sẽ không bao giờ nhận ra được cái thấy chỉ là cái thấy, cái nghe chỉ là cái nghe. Và lúc nào cũng nhìn thấy một đối tượng, một cái khái niệm nào đó để tên nó là cái gì.
Because we have our the accumulated way of thinking to always perceive things in the conceptual way, always something there and someone there. So without hearing about the truth taught by the Buddha, we never think about it that way.
And that is the understanding of reality and appreciation of the Buddha's wisdom and teaching. Because without hearing the Buddha's teaching, impossible to know anything about this moment, even to understand that seeing now sees, not I see, and what is seen is just what is visible, not a person or shape or form, but just what is visible at this moment, what is light now.
Thế thì con càng cảm thấy một lần nữa vô cùng tri ân Đức Phật và các đạo hữu cũng như là Achan ở đây. Thì càng về nghe về Pháp, hiểu về Pháp, có sự suy xét đúng thì càng có sự tri ân một cách sâu sắc. Con xin cảm ơn ạ.
So the more I listen, the more I understand, the more I feel gratitude towards the Buddha and towards Achan and the teachers and all the wise friends. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sa thụ. Bây giờ thầy Như Hòa cũng có câu hỏi đúng không ạ? Vâng. Ai chuyển mic cho thầy vậy ạ?
Okay. Thầy để gần.
Tất cả các đạo hữu ở đây ạ, thì như hiện tại thì con rất là hoan hỷ khi được nghe về sự thật của các pháp chân đế, và con hiện tại thì con có một cái hoài nghi trong tâm là khi mà Đức Phật có giác ngộ về sự thật và Ngài đã thuyết giảng cho bậc đại trí Xá Lợi Phất, và duy nhất bậc đại trí ấy nghe về sự thật này bằng tính chất của các pháp chân đế. Nhưng mà suốt một thời gian 45 năm khi Ngài chắc chắn là Ngài thuyết giảng về sự thật, chứ Đức Phật thì không thể thuyết giảng cái khác, nhưng mà Ngài đã dùng những ngôn từ rất gần gũi với quần chúng. Có thể là có những bài kinh chỉ đạt đến sự hoan hỷ và trong sạch tịnh tín. Có những bài kinh thì Đức Phật lại thuyết pháp cả giáo pháp chư Phật ba đời và khiến cho họ đạt đến những cái quả vị. Như vậy thì thời gian trước, cái vấn đề của con bây giờ hiện tại là như thế này ạ. Như những thời gian trước thì con vô cùng hoan hỷ và con thường nói và trao đổi với mọi người là thế gian này chắc thế giới này chỉ có một mình Achan là nói và hiểu đúng về giáo pháp của Đức Phật. Nhưng đến thời điểm này thì con lại tự hoài nghi là đây là sự dính mắc hay là sự hiểu đúng, suy xét về nó hay chỉ là một sự dính mắc. Thì con xin Achan giảng dạy cho con điều này ạ.
She said that she's very glad to hear about the teaching on Paramatha-Dhamma, but currently she has a doubt, because when we read about the suttas, for example, we can see that when the Buddha taught the Dhamma to Sariputta, it was the only time when he taught in terms of Paramatha-Dhamma. Usually he taught a lot by ways of Samuti Sacha, conventional truth, in terms that are familiar to the common people. And sometimes he taught only about morality that gladdens the people who listen to it. And sometimes he taught about the ultimate truth, about the Four Noble Truth. So before, she used to be really, really happy to hear about Paramatha-Dhamma. And she thought, and she said to many people that today in this world, only Achan can understand and teach about the Paramatha-Dhamma like that. But today she's wondering whether that is understanding or only attachments that is in her.
We heard the word attachment, but we don't really understand the reality of attachment in truth. For example, when we like something, we say that it's attachment, right? Is there any attachment to this? Just this?
Maybe.
To be not just maybe, a little more understanding that what we learn about the word, but not the reality at all. For example, at this moment of seeing, who knows there is attachment to seeing already? Is it right?
Yes.
But no idea when and how much attachment to seeing until we learn a little more about each reality, different degrees. When there is no understanding of the truth of what is there as it is, just appears and disappears so very rapidly. Until it's known, there can be letting go of the idea of self deeper and further. But when it's not yet that degree of understanding, we just learn to understand the truth, how fast and how quickly ignorance and attachment is there. If there's no attachment and ignorance right then and there can never be moment of attachment or ignorance later. See, is that true? As there's still the accumulation of ignorance and attachment, no matter what appears, 3 moments after experience what appears, who knows there is attachment because of no understanding of the truth, that it is there so very short before it can be taken for something or I. That's why we learn to understand the very subtle Dhamma, the truth of that which does not appear to be known. That's why whatever appears does not appear as it is. Beginning to understand that the world is not just we live with many peoples and many incidents, circumstances, and so on. It's only a moment of experiencing an object, not 2 objects at a time, only one at a time. But who knows how fast it is? So what succeeded from moment to moment is only the mark or the sign of something seen or heard all the time. If there's no understanding of the truth of reality, that it is conditioned to arise, and it has a reason. See, finish. The function of conditions, because condition is there, condition is arising. As soon as it has a reason, follow me. That is to understand how subtle reality is, each word. For example, who knows that if there is no arising of seeing, there never be that which is seen. But is there the idea of I still? When there's no understanding of the truth of that, what is taken for I or life is that which arises and experience an object by different characteristics and different ways. For example, if there is no reality which arises to see, can there be any idea of what is seen? And the idea of what is seen is not the seeing. Seeing is so short, it's gone. So many, many moments with ignorance of that which is seen or experienced. So what appears is the nimitta, the sign, the mark of that which is seen. Is it true? Just one dot or one moment of seeing. It cannot be anyone or anything at all. So how fast it is. Because now there is hearing, listening, but there is seeing. It seems all the time. But in truth, only one moment of the reality which arises to experience an object, because it is a reality, so it experiences only an object and then gone. Just consider to have more confidence of the truth, whether it's true or not. No other thing to do at all, because no one but the understanding is different from ignorance. beginning to see the differences between that which cannot understand the truth of what is there at all. I see something, but it's not true. Because seeing sees. Be firm to the truth of seeing that it sees only. That's why we learn to understand what is more in life from moment to moment, to let go the idea of self, which is so enormous from life to life. So how can it be completely eradicated at once or so soon in life? Because even there is the understanding of what is there now seeing, it's that which arises to see, because it's there seeing. So how can it be other thing? It's that which arises to see. It means that the moment of experiencing that which impinges on the eye base only can be seen. At the back, who knows what is it? That which does not impinge on the eye base cannot be seen. So even seeing is conditioned. So we learn to understand the truth of one reality and go on understanding the conditions for its arising, to have the firm understanding that actually there's no one, because the reality arises together, condition the arisings of the other in a moment. That's why begin to understand even just the word. That which experiences is the chief of experiencing an object. If there is no seeing at all, how can there be the understanding of the meaning of a reality arises just to see? Keep on. Confidence of the truth just arise to see. So the other moment, even right now, is it seeing? Is it? Can there be 2 moments of seeing, 3 moments of seeing, follow one another? No one can think the way it works from moment to moment. If there's no hearing about the truth that Buddha had enlightened, otherwise no one can understand the truth of the very subtle reality arising and falling away. But what can be experienced and what can be known has to be only through one of the 6 ways, while there are other reality, but that which does not experience through one of the 6 way, it cannot appear, even it's there. So think about ignorance and the wisdom of Buddha, see? If there's no understanding of his word at all, who's the Buddha? No thought about his virtues at all, because whatever he taught is about the truth in a moment to moment to moment in life, beginning from birth and end death. No more this person. So what is this person? Only this life. Before this life, is there this person? Before. And after this life, is there still this person? So there are only realities conditioned to arise from life to life, on and on, until there is the understanding of what is there, which will let go gradually, the clinging to that as something, as I. That's why the point of listening to the truth, no one. So it is just to understand the truth and understand that there is a reality different from ignorance, because it understands what is there, while there's no condition for it to arise. It is ignorance each moment. That's why
Ajahn. Can I?
seeing the difference between ignorance and understanding, there can be moment of understanding, the precious moment, at moment of understanding the certainty of reality that can be known, that can be thought about carefully, little by little, to have more and deeper understanding, to let go the ignorance and attachment or Dhammas. That's the understanding of Dhamma. Whatever is real, no matter its attachment, aversion, or wholesome realities, they're all Dhammas, because Dhamma is whatever is real, no matter we call it, or don't use any word for it at all. But learn to understand the truth of each word of the teachings of the Buddha about what is there now. For example, we heard a lot, many times, about citta, or the reality which experiences the object, right? Because it's there now. Seeing is a reality which arises just to see. Can seeing here? Because whatever arises falls away, never to return.
Jonathan was ready to speak too. Did you want to say something, Jonathan?
Well, only when Ajahn finished, but perhaps I'll just be brief, because I wanted to thank you. Firstly, thank you, Ajahn, for that very informative talk on conditioned realities, because it is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. And I'm wondering if the questioner is perhaps confusing the use of conventional language in the suttas with the subject matter of the teaching, because even when the Buddha uses conventional language, he is still talking about absolute realities. And I think this is borne out if one looks at as I'm looking at the moment, the contents to the Samyutta Nikaya, which is divided into different books and different sections within each book. And just looking at the subject matter, one can see that it's all about conditioned realities. For example, the book of causation, Nidana-vagga, and within that, discourses on causation, discourses on the elements, the dhatus, discourses on gains and honor, and then the book of aggregates, Khandha-vagga, discourses on the aggregates, discourses on views, discourses on arising, discourses on defilements, and discourses in the next section is the book of the 6 sense bases. And similarly there, the chapters within the book are discourses on feeling and so on. And then finally, the great book, discourses on the path, discourses on the factors of enlightenment, discourses on the establishment of mindfulness, discourses on the faculties, discourses on right striving, on basis for spiritual power, Iddhipada, on the jhanas, on breathing, and finally discourses on stream entry and discourses on the truths. So it's obvious from this that regardless of the conventional language by which the Buddha taught, the subject matter of his teaching is conditioned realities throughout. Thank you, Ajahn.
And I think it's like now, the language we may use when talking to a beginner may be different from how we talk to each other. Like if someone is new, we don't talk about chittas, cetasikas, and rupas, because they have no idea what it is. But still, when talking about sila, what is sila? Actually, it's referring to different kinds of citta, different moments of kusala citta, akusala citta, for example, at this moment. So as Jonathan said, no matter what the language used, whether it's conventional language or absolute language, the Buddha is always pointing to the truths. There's no conflict between what is said in the suttas, the Vinaya, or the Abhidhamma. Whatever he taught is always about the absolute truths, which are anatta, because there's no other way to understand anatta. So when we arrive here and we greet each other and we thank Ajahn, we use ordinary language, but still, even at those moments of thanking Ajahn, it's still just citta, cetasika, and rupa arising and falling away. But the understanding is not firm enough. And it's not firm enough until the understanding has reached the level of sotapanna. Only then is there no more doubt. So there has to be doubt arising by conditions. Like even now when you hear what Jonathan is saying or Ajahn is saying, maybe there is doubt. It's conditioned, but is it your doubt or is it just a reality which arises by conditions and falls away? And it doesn't matter whether we talk about the doubt in conventional language or in terms of just the cetasika arising with ignorance. Whatever the language, it's still the reality itself that can be known just when it's there. Like now, is there doubt about the truth of realities at this moment?
Dạ, hoài nghi thì hiện tại thì con không có. Con vẫn biết là cái suy nghĩ và cuộc sống của mình hoàn toàn trong vô minh. Nên là việc được nghe về các thực tại nó vẫn là thù thắng nhất. Nhưng mà nó vẫn lăn tăn là có thể thuyết về sự thật này với nhiều cái cách thức khác nhau không, hay chỉ là một số ví dụ như những cái gì mình bàn. Mà thực ra thì con cũng thấy trong con hơi mâu thuẫn là đúng là vô minh thì nó phải được chỉ bằng cái thực.
I have no doubt, and because I'm aware that in this life, in daily life, I live in total ignorance. But I'm still wondering whether this is the only way, talking about realities.
And this is doubt. And the doubt is now, is it the only way, or should there be another shortcut or better way? This is doubt which arises with ignorance, uncertainty, and it can be known right now as a Dhamma, Paramatta Dhamma, not my doubt. And it's gone. At moments of seeing, no doubt. At moments of understanding or wise reflection, no doubt. So it's just like understanding or attachment or seeing or hearing. It's just a reality that arises by conditions. So when wondering, should there be another way? It's just moments of thinking with doubt. But that thinking, that doubt, it can be understood because it's Dhamma here and now. It doesn't last. And it doesn't belong to you. It's not my doubt that's so special. It's just a reality that arises, falls away. And the thinking, we think that the idea, the story should be known. Oh, should I go this way or that way? But what about the understanding of thinking now? because it's just moments of thinking which are also gone instantly. And this is the only way that there can be more understanding, less doubt, by understanding these different realities when they appear right now.
And let's not forget that no one is saying that talking about Dhamma is the way. What is the way is hearing the Buddha's teaching explained in detail and reflecting on that over a period of time because of interest in the Dhamma. Of course, asking questions and resolving ambiguities and doubts is part of that, but it shouldn't be characterized as talking about the Dhamma is the way, because there's a lot more to it than that.
Doubt now can be known even at this moment, not my doubt. And the next moment, one can laugh about it because it's just an unimportant reality that's gone already. Otherwise, there's clinging to that doubt and that uncertainty instead of just letting it go. It's gone already. Whatever has arisen, it's gone already.
So the point is to understand the truth, or just remember the word and try to understand the word. What does it mean and so on? Or what is there now in order to understand the meaning of any word Buddha taught? For example, is there a moment right now? See, we don't use Dhamma or anything yet, but to understand Dhamma, that what is it? Is there any moment right now? Or none at all? So there is a moment. So what is that? In order to understand, it appears as a reality. For example, hardness is there, real. Hardness is real. It has its characteristic as hardness. The sound is real now because it's heard. Just talk about what is there appearing, that it's real at the moment when it's there. Can we deny that at this moment of hearing there's no sound? That's why I understand what is there. There must be what is there to be known, that it is different from one moment to one moment. At moment of seeing, is it the same moment as hearing? Begin to think about the truth, to understand whatever is real, no matter we use the word Dhamma or not, but it's there, a reality. No one can deny at all that it's not there right now. So begin to understand the characteristic of reality, that it's real, so it's a reality. And in Pali term, it is a Dhamma. See? So when there is the understanding of the truth of what is there in a moment, there can be the understanding what is there has its characteristic to be known. So each one is a Dhamma. It has its own characteristic. From the understanding of the characteristic of the truth, when you come across any word, Ariya Satya Dhamma, it has to be a reality, not just talk about that which is not there. So what is Dhamma, what is Satya, and what is Ariya Satya? But first of all, there has to be the understanding of Dhamma, because when it's a Dhamma, it cannot be anything else. Have firm confidence of the truth. No matter in word, we can change the word in different language, but the truth of it, that it's there, it's real, cannot be changed. By then, there's no doubt about the meaning of Dhamma. But as it doesn't show up as it is, there is doubt about Chitta right now. See, that's why we learn to understand the truth. And then when we read Tipitaka, we understand the meaning of each word. For example, is there doubt about seeing right now? Who says no doubt? One knows seeing is Dhamma. It's real, so it's a Dhamma. And it's different from that which is seen, beginning to understand what is meant by Nama and Rupa, but not just use the word Nama and Rupa in the beginning. No, understanding just the word, but the truth is there to be considered, to understand from one's own considering whether it's there, what is there right now. It's not imagined, it's not just thinking, but it has its characteristic which appears as is real. So what is real is Dhamma. No matter what in any book of the teachings of the Buddha. Is Nibbana real? No understanding of the truth of Nibbana yet, but we heard a lot. And Nibbana can be directly experienced. Otherwise, how can there be the eradication of ditti, wrong understanding, or doubt about seeing, hearing, the reality which experiences the object? That's why we learn to understand what is there. And then we understand what is said. But if you heard the word Nama, Rupa, and the explanation, is there any idea that it's now this moment, what is Nama and what is Rupa? But when we talk about the two different kinds of reality, one arises to experience and the other arises, but it cannot experience. Is it true? So there is the word represent the truth as Nama and Rupa and Dhamma. So when there is understanding, there can be the understanding of any word about Nama or about Rupa, like attachment, it's there. But it's different from other moment of anger. See, what is real? Anger is real. Attachment is real. So they are Dhammas, but they are different Dhammas. That's why in the world there are so many different Dhammas that can be known. So the point of listening to the teachings is to understand any word like anicca. There is not always seeing. At moment of hearing, there's no seeing. Where's the seeing? Gone, never to return. Anicca. And what's the use of no one there at all? Only the conditioned reality arises and falls away. No matter it's soft or hard, or no matter it's thinking or liking, they are all real. That's why we learn to understand Dhamma. It's daily life, it's life, but no understanding of it until Buddha realized the truth and thought about the truth of what is there as seeing. It's not that which appears, which is seen. And in a day or in our life, one might just think about that which is seen, no thought at all about that which arises to experience, so that that can be seen or be known through different ways. So learn to understand the truth. When we have the understanding of the truth, no matter it's there in what book, there can be the understanding, depending on how much that is the considering of the truth, deeper and deeper. Is there doubt now? See, do we have to use the word doubt? It's there. It's different from understanding. That's why even we use different word, not the word doubt, it's there. That's why understanding the truth of what is there, which Buddha taught in his language, Pali term, different terms like chitta, vinyana, mana, or mano. See, when there is the understanding of the reality which arises and experience the object, that there is not just one reality, but the chief of experience and object must be there any moment. It doesn't have the function of attachment or aversion. Its nature, its reality, is only it arises to experience, the chief of experience. So at moment of liking something, like liking this, if it's not experienced by chitta, can attachment to this object arise? That's why no matter at any time, moment of death, birth to death, there must be the reality, which is the chief of experiencing. That's why somewhere or some part in the book, it says, the world is under a reality, which is chitta, the chief of experiencing. Without it, there cannot be anything arising that can experience the object in different manners, in different levels. For example, who knows that we like this when it's gone and we want it? See, wanting when it's there, liking when it's there. No understanding that at that moment, the attachment is so very low degree, but it's there. That's why we can understand different words for different levels of attachment. Saneha, Raka, and so on. And Asava, Nivarana. See, when there is the understanding of the truth, we can understand that it's different degrees. That's why we cannot use any word for Asava. It has to be that level of realities which can be asava. Dosa cannot be asava. There's so many reasons for whatever arises. That's why we learn to understand at moment of understanding. It lets go misunderstanding, attachment by itself. No need to do anything. So understanding that the path begins with right understanding. The path to what? Of what? To realize the truth right now as it is. It's useless just to think about the truth, but to be able to realize the truth as we have heard that it's so true. And learn about what can be the moment of understanding, what is there now, which is not understood before, even hardness, or seeing, or thinking, whatever is there in life. Is this the teaching of the enlightenment? Or can anyone teach like this? The truth of what is there in details about the subtlety of what is there as feeling, memory. See, it's there, but it's not that which is a chief of experiencing. And it arises together with seeing to mark and remember what is seen, accumulated with the kusala or akusala. Ignorance is there, see, so there's more and more ignorance any time of seeing. Because thinking about seeing just only one moment. This is a difference between different realities.
You mentioned before that when listening to Ajahn in the beginning, you just appreciated she was talking about Paramattha Dhammas and the truth. But now you realize that when listening maybe moments of understanding, but also many moments of attachment, many moments of doubt. And this is being truthful, and it doesn't matter because they're all different conditioned realities, not my attachment, not my doubt. And they all fall away instantly. And if one tries to find out what is there, if one tries to work out, is it attachment or is it understanding, that is the wrong way, because that's I trying to do something, trying to find it out. So just live easily, let understanding work its way to understand whatever appears now, no matter attachment or ignorance or doubt. They're just different dhammas, no significance, and all gone. So this is the way that gradually there's letting go of the burden of I, trying to find out, trying to do, trying to know, which is so deeply rooted. And it's now, attachment now, doubt, seeing, hearing, but all gone. Just once in samsara, and then never to rise again. And when there's the idea that maybe there's another way, maybe there's something to do, that is the idea of I that can do something else or follow a way or a different method. It's not a Jan's way or method. What we're discussing is just the nature of life at this moment as taught by the Buddha. And whether or not it was ever taught by the Buddha, life is still just consisting of different citas, cetasikas and rupas arising and falling away. So it's not someone's way or method. It's just the truth of here and now, life now. Any doubt? Or a little more considering.
A little more understanding, a little more letting go.
Yes, thank you very much.
สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์